Sorry about all that Octavia playing. Guys, we're back with a little woodshed. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. I appreciate everybody sticking with me. I've been keeping up with life, and it's been pretty crazy and pretty wonderful and pretty hectic. But today I want to bring to you a little bit of a tone video today. We haven't done some tone videos in a bit. It's still in the Stevie realm, but I'm going to woodshed some Jimmy real soon. But I wanted to talk to you about that classic Austin City Limits 89 and the tone he had going on there. Most people will focus on the Marshall Major and the Dumble in the stack behind them, but there was also some Fender Blackface amps behind those. But what I wanted to talk about was something Stevie started doing, after he cleaned up, more around 88, 89, and definitely into 90. You can hear him using this effect. And yes, it has to do with the fuzz, but it's the way he used it. So think about the combination. First of all, you have this Dumble that's there, and it's this folklore we've heard. Some of us have been lucky enough to play them. Some of us has only read about them, but they're supposed to be this ultra clean, sparkly amp. Okay, so right in the SRV realm from everything we've read about Stevie early on. Now, if you take a Fender amp and turn it up, it doesn't matter the wattage, even twin reverbs, they start to break up and mush out on themselves, probably up around 7 or 8. So I don't necessarily think Stevie's tone was always what we're told it was, where it was that super. It wasn't always clean, and you can hear things like, you can just hear him sound checking. He always had that little bit of a grit there with him. And I think that's what's allowed him to have that great rhythm in songs like having that little bit of a grit underneath him allowed that great breakup tone where he could play a song like Mary Had a Little Lamb without the tube screamer. He could do something looking out the window without a tube screamer. Maybe he was trying to get away from relying on that or using that. And the association with him and a tube screamer is incredible, but I think in a lot of those performances, he probably wasn't really turning it on at all. He was just digging in harder with the right hand. Stevie started using a Fuzz Face later on in his career, and his Fuzz Faces were modded by Cesar Diaz. Clearly here, like, you can clearly hear the fuzz being all out. But in a song like Leave My Little Girl Alone, he uses it differently. And I think it's really cool how he uses it, because he uses it to clean up his overall tone. So in a song like Leave My Little Girl Alone, he's using the fuzz face totally different, right? He's using it as a color of his tone, but he's also using it to like get this real clean, precise, snappy tone. And just in that intro alone, you can hear. And I'll talk a little bit about that and what's really happening there and what I think is cool. So I'm going to start out by mentioning I would get the guitar. If you want to capture that Leave My Little Girl Alone tone, get the guitar on the middle and bridge shared position, so you're using both of these. And leave the tone, don't put any tone on, just leave it ringing out. And you can hear this tone, and then in a lot of and even that was kind of a staple with Stevie. He started really relying on that pickup position, and I thought that was cool because it kind of changed this whole tonality in his playing. He had like this really percussive kind of funkiness to it, and you can hear it in a lot of that stuff, especially in a lot of the bootlegs. I do recommend you guys find some bootlegs and you catch little things, but even something like he's relying on that percussive kind of crystalline, chunky, poppy, funky tone. But going back to Leave My Little Girl Alone, what he's doing there is, you can watch that from Austin City Limits. You can watch that heavy, and you can see him really, really playing with the volume control of the guitar. He's really, really dialing in, because he doesn't want this. He doesn't want something like this, but he wants something like, that might even be too much. Right about there, where he's getting that grit. He's getting that grit, he's getting that gain, he's getting that fullness, but he's also getting that clunginess. And he plays one lick in there. Wait. You can really hear where he's walking that fine line of giving you that full-blown. He's not giving you that, and he's not giving you that. He's giving you that right on the edge, and that beautiful, fuzzy, it's got some grit to it. You know, just really working the volume control and really dialing in what he wants to hear. And you can hear. Oh, wait, I messed that up. So, you know, the fuzz, whether you can pick it out or not, at different volume ranges is going to change its overall characteristic wherever you are in each individual pickup position. Just leaving it in that position and leaving my... I'll give myself a little more grit right with the volume. Now I'll just roll the tone on all the way. Look what it does. Now, you can think that's woofy, but I can clearly hear those treble notes still coming through. Back to tone halfway. Just bring the tone all the way back off. And then it's just right back to bring the volume back down a little bit. So those are some things I would advise you guys to really listen for and pick out. Like I said, listen to those bootlegs, because you can hear it a lot. You can hear a lot of what's happening. And I think before this period, he was using the Hot Tubes pedal. And I had done a video about that. I'll put that up here. But that was just the precursor to what was happening with the fuzz. I think his fuzzes were modified to have extra high end and extra output. And if you modify the fuzz with extra output, which would mean volume, you kind of introduce that high end as well. So getting in cahoots with Cesar Diaz and having Cesar modify his fuzz pedals, he could really sit and fine tune what he wanted to hear. I don't necessarily think he was a transistor nerd where he was saying it has to be these, it has to be that. I'm sure he just wanted something that worked well with what he had. And just listening to that stuff, you can hear him working the volume knob to really dial in what he wants. Like, you know, if you wanted just Albert King, you'd bring that fuzz in. See, the fuzz is on right now. That's still clear. That's almost kind of Tube Screamer-ish, right? So you, And then the stuff like voodoo, you know, playing with the wah and having the volume back up. Play that stuff forever, but you know, just really using the volume knob, listening to the tones, and picking out or being able to designate pickup positions is some of that stuff. When you're chasing, say, a certain riff or a certain lick, it's like inspires you when you lock the tone in. So if you kind of get the tone real close to what they're going for, then it gives you that little extra bump to want to kind of play in that style and kind of search even more and research and try to, you know, woodshed some of that stuff, you know, no pun intended. But yeah, there's just a tone tip for that song especially. But go back and listen to it. The Austin City Limits, he's playing Scotch, that Strat, and you know, he puts it into that position. And then when he goes into that firing solo, he's just giving it a little more juice on the volume knob. I'm not playing it at all. I'm definitely not playing it note for note, and I'm not giving you a lesson on that because I can't do it. But yeah, it's just a tone tip, and I thought this would be really useful to you guys who are, you know, diehard Stevie fans like myself and always trying to woodshed some of his stuff, and just some tone stuff helps as well as the playing stuff. So hope you guys appreciated this video. Like, comment, say something down below if you want. If not, whatever, I'll see you next week with another video, and I'll do my best to keep you entertained. We'll talk soon. Peace.